Man, we're here in the country of the Philippines, in Roosterland, where all the people come together. So thank you for coming out. If you're here, please click the like button, send us a message. We got some stuff to talk about today. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. So we'll give some time for the people to show up. Get to the chopper! Okay, I'm not going to do that again. Hold on a second. Let me get this camera going. My battery's almost done. My goodness. I'm still shooting these vertical, dude. I got to figure out how to do it like horizontal. So we have stuff to talk about today in today's live stream, folks, because guess what? Captain Trucker's building a house, all right? Hold on one second. Yeah, we're building a house on 100 square meter land, okay? And so we're going to talk about, sorry. Got dust in my eye, man. We're going to talk about home building, okay? So we're going to talk about building houses in the Philippines, and then we're also going to talk about the road trip we're going to take together in March, okay? Because in case you didn't notice, there's a truck on this channel. So for anybody who wasn't aware, I'm also an over-the-road professional truck driver. And that's how we funded all this money all these years to come to the Philippines 15 times in 6 years, okay? 15 trips in 6 years. Can you imagine that? It's a true story. You can't make that stuff up. But hey, that's what we got to do sometimes. Especially when you have, like, you know, I guess kids and stuff. You're supposed to be like a responsible father and work and all that good stuff. So welcome everybody to the live stream. Please send a message. Love to hear from you. We're going to have a lot of fun today. I'm in a good mood, I think. We'll see how long that lasts for. I got my coffee, I got some water, and I just wanted to welcome everybody. So yeah, discussions today. We're going to be talking about building a house in the Philippines for foreigners, some of the stuff that entails, and upcoming road trips we're going to be taking together, but also just stuff in the Philippines in general, and really anything you all want to talk about. We tend to get off topic here in the live streams, but that's okay. That's the way we like it. So please send a message if you're out there. I want to see who's out there. And anybody new to the channel, welcome. If this is your first time, please be prepared. Sometimes we discuss controversial things on this channel. And for any of the German viewers, I just want them to know that, you know, a lot of those jokes are just in good fun. And we don't mean anything personal. And I've said this before, too. I have a German-Jewish last name, so I'm allowed to make jokes about it. My goodness gracious! I dropped it again. Ooh, maybe it's a sign! So I feel like you get to the point in life where you get so beaten down, like as a middle-aged man, and like you're afraid to like leave the house because like you get so isolated socially and just in all senses that like, you know, every little thing is like a sign. So like if you stub your toe, you're like, oh, I can't leave the house today. You got to watch out for that, okay? All right. So anyway, welcome to the live stream, everybody. I'm going to give everybody a chance to come in. So, oh, what's up, Eli? Good to see you. Seeing who's out there today. So we're back in the Bacolod area. And I want to take a few more trips within the Philippines before we set out on our trucking adventure in March. Hello from Quezon City. Karen, good to see you. Eli's here as well. Eli's been a great supporter of this channel in terms of morale, so we appreciate his kind words. You know, it's always these little things that keep you going in life, folks. Whether a channel has 500 subscribers or 50,000, it's always just little things from just, you know, one person or two people that can change the future. You know what I mean? So thank you for all your kind comments, support, and yeah, just the general good vibes. And thank you to the haters too, man. I've always said, like, haters, you know, love thy hater, right? Because sometimes they have some valid points. But sometimes if they're just straight hateful, it's like, well, that's just a person filled with black ink. And so you gotta like kind of like ignore them. But sometimes people have some interesting points. Okay. Give me 1 second. I had some notes here. I gotta take notes! Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Building a house in the Philippines. Rules and So for those of you who don't know, hey, good morning, Rattel. Good to see you. We're back in our other compound here and back in Rooster Land. So you might hear some roosters today. But I got good news. So the land that I bought, I haven't heard any roosters in the neighborhood yet. And believe me, I know it's a Filipino delicacy, and I respect that. I do. I have nothing wrong against roosters and cockfights. I just don't like sleeping next to 14 of them. I mean, I don't think that's a complaining thing. To me, it's common sense. I mean, how can anybody sleep next to like 14 roosters? Maybe some people can. Maybe it's like such a programmed archetype, or not archetype, sorry, I don't know if that's the right word, but it's collectively programmed into the consciousness of the Southeast Asian people or the Filipinos, man. Like it's almost like what do you call it? It's like a sound spa as you sleep. Like maybe they wouldn't even be able to sleep that well had there not been like 20 roosters around. You know what I mean? Like I know my son, it doesn't bother him, but he's half Filipino, so he's been like conditioned to this. You know what I mean? To the roosters specifically. God love the roosters. Looking forward to my next cockfight. Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you some notes here, and forgive me for those of you who have heard this already, but here it goes. Give me a second. So building a house in the Philippines as a foreigner involves several rules and regulations that you need to be aware of, okay? The specifics can vary depending on your visa status and the location of your property, but here are some general guidelines to keep in mind. Number one, good morning, gamer. Good to see you. Rattel says that's why concrete block in the primary construction material to block the noise. Yeah, that's what I heard. I'm trying to familiarize myself with more construction stuff. Where's my water? Hold on, I need my water. My goodness, where'd my water go? Guys, I'm gonna have to step away and grab my water. This is a state of emergency. Where did I put my water, man? Where's my water? Oh. Ridiculous, man. I just got some water and now I can't find it. I think I left it in the other place. Give me a second. Give me 1 second, guys. You're gonna walk with me. Morning, everyone. All right, I'm just gonna talk and hold the camera in the air like this. So yeah, ownership of land, right? So, you know, some foreigners are kind of crafty, especially ones with a lot of money. They find creative ways to like try to, own land, which you really can't, because it's the Filipinos' land, ladies and gentlemen. It's not our place to own it, okay? So generally speaking, foreigners cannot own land in the Philippines. So we discourage promoting the idea of ways they can. So I'm not going to do that. So yeah, basically a foreigner cannot own land in the Philippines, okay? Now, if you have like a business, maybe you can own part of it. It's like a 60-40 rule, right? But owning a house doesn't mean you're owning a business. So it's not like we're turning the house into some kind of business, right? It's not like a resort. So really it's a private home. Okay, I'm back. Here we go. Morning, everybody. Welcome. If this is your first time watching and been to the show, we appreciate you coming out. Welcome to the live stream. We're going to have a lot of fun today. All right, so generally foreigners cannot own the land in the Philippines. However, there's ways to legally acquire land, such as through a long-term lease or by forming a corporation with 60% Filipino ownership. But we're not doing that because, well, I'm building a house for my son. So, like I always said, what's the point of giving your kids a gift and you're like, no, daddy's going to own some of it. You can only own part of it. Like, just give the whole thing to him. F it. Makes life easier, right? And then the land title. So you got to ensure that the land you plan to build has a clear and legal title, okay? Verify the title's authenticity through the Register of Deeds in the area where the property is located, okay? So in other words, don't just take somebody's word for it. The 411, welcome. It's good to see you, man. Sean's back. Sean's back in the house. All right, number 3, guys, we got permits and approvals. You're going to need various permits and approval from the local government units, okay? That's the LGUs, and other relevant agencies. These may include building permits, environmental clearances, and the barangay, which is the local community clearances, okay? So in other words, you don't just show up colonial style, like with a shotgun, and just go to a piece of land where nobody is, or maybe like there's people like squatted on it with in a couple of tents or some dilapidated bamboo unit. You know, just be like, hey, I'm going to give you 500 pesos for this land, and they don't just like give you a title that they wrote crayon on and say, oh, here you go, here's the mother title, have a nice day. You got to like verify it, okay? I know this is pretty obvious information, but I'm just, you know, putting it out there. Number 4, architectural plans. You need to hire well, you don't need to, but you need to hire a licensed architect to create the architectural plans for your house. These plans must be submitted for approval before construction begins, okay? So, yeah. And then number 5, we have construction regulations, all right? So make sure that your construction follows the National Building Code of the Philippines and other relevant construction regulations. Compliance with safety standards and environmental laws is crucial, okay? So don't just think because it's like, oh, the third world, whatever country, we can just throw up a shack with sewage spilling out of the side and, you know, it's flammable. It can go up in one match. No, man, you got to make these things like solid, dude. All right? Number 9. Wait, I skipped one. No, we're on number 6. Oh, yeah, property tax. So, as a property owner, you will be responsible for paying property taxes, okay? Familiarize yourself with local tax regulations and deadlines. Anyway, how you all doing out there? Please send a message. Good to see you all. You know, I saw this movie called Total Recall in this small town called Westbrook, Maine. Early 90s with one of my brothers. We used to walk to the movie theater, like walk to like the downtown place. And like my brother, he would always walk really fast, like almost like he was exercising, right? And I was like maybe 5 years younger than him. I'm like thinking about it as if the numbers change as you age, right? But it's like, anyway. So when you're like, I don't know, 8 and your brother's 13 or something, he's more like physically developed so he can walk faster. And I'd always say, God, I'd be like, man, slow, like, let's enjoy the walk, man, slow down. Because we would always like, we'd get these Swisher Sweets, these cigars. We started smoking these cigars, my brother and I, because we watched these Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, like Last Action Hero in 1993, and he was smoking these like Swisher Sweets, and we're like, oh man, that must be really cool to smoke cigars. Because Arnold smokes cigars, so we can too as 10-year-olds. That's terrible. But anyway, so we used to walk to the movie theater smoking cigars. But I don't know why that just came to my mind. I was like, he always walked so much faster than me, and I was always like, I was trying to enjoy, you know, smoking my stogie as an 8-year-old, like, you know, on my chill pace, man. Like, hey, man, slow down. You know, like he'd be walking like really fast smoking the cigar, and I'm like, dude, slow down. Anyway, okay, number 7, we got utilities and services. So arrange for utility connections, all right, such as water and electricity, because like most human beings need water and electricity these days on Earth, all right? But you would be surprised. There's still places without like running water, but preferably not, right? So my deal is like, I've been saying this for years, it's like if you live in the Philippines, man, we got to get solar panels, babe. Solar, 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 okay? Now, I say that because for those of you who don't know, don't misquote me on this, but this country has really expensive electricity rates, man. More so, not more so, but almost the same as the United States. All right, believe it or not, the electric costs here in this country are not inexpensive. Okay, so for all you who didn't know that, or maybe you did, I don't know. Anyway, let me know how I'm doing, guys. If you want to have anything, want me to talk about something else, but I'm going to finish these notes really quick. I know, I know how exciting it is. Xander Aviation, welcome from Australia. And Sean, where are you at? You're in Westbrook at this moment, right? Xander asked, am I going to move back to the United States? The short answer is no. So I was going to get into that. So for those of you who don't know, if you haven't watched the earlier videos on my channel, I work part of the year in the United States and the other part I work here in the Philippines. So I'm basically been going back and forth for a long time. And yeah, I've made like 14 trips in 6 years. And it's been quite a journey, but I got to keep doing it. I want to work for another 5 to 10 years as a over-the-road truck driver, where I drive all over the United States, and I basically do what I've been doing here in the Philippines in terms of, you know, subject and materials. I even talk about the Philippines too. It's just like I want to continue the channel, and I hope you all join me as I go on the road for about, I'm probably going to go for like 3 or 4 months and then come back to the Philippines. But yeah, I want to continue the channel there as per usual. Basically doing the same thing. It's just going to be me over there and then coming back here. So it's just like, I think the idea is that like most expats or most of these channels is like retired men. So obviously they're usually here full time, but I like to travel. I want to take you guys to other countries, other states, other cities in the world. You know, we want to go not just through the Philippines, but also through, maybe we can go to like, obviously the United States, but also maybe Europe, maybe Mexico. We'll see what happens. I just want you all to be aware of that, so you're not shocked if you see me driving a truck one day and you're like, what the F, man? I thought you were in the Philippines. No, man. We're all over the world on this channel, bro. We're everywhere you want to be, I think. But, you know, daddy's got to work, man. I got to work, babe. That's the thing is, like, I'm trying to do this channel as like a, just because there's been stuff on my mind for years that I've wanted to get out there, but it's also, it's more of just like kind of public service-ish, I guess. Like I don't have the intentions of like, believe it or not, of trying to make like tons of money on YouTube or anything, because this isn't like a mammoth channel, because this channel, what I like about our subscribers is that we talk about real stuff. Like we're not pandering to any audience. If you watch this channel long enough, man, like we get into like controversial topics. We tell things to people that they don't necessarily want to hear. That's one of the beauties of the Captain Trucker channel, is that we're not pulling punches in terms of like, oh, if we talk about that, they're not going to watch anymore. Because the truth is, if it was just me walking around eating balut and a cheeseburger and not talking as much about serious stuff, we'd probably get a lot more views, because people come to YouTube for entertainment a lot of the times, and then some of it's like how-to and for information and stuff like that, or if they're, I don't know, interested in a particular vlogger or something. But this isn't sort of like the Vacation Philippines channel, you know what I mean? Like, we look at serious issues sometimes and talk about controversial stuff. Sometimes people don't want to hear it. Sometimes it's too heavy. Sometimes it's too, you know, they're just like, hey. But I get it. I was talking about that too. It's like I took a break from the channel. I started watching my own material, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I can't listen to this guy any longer. It's terrible. No, but I mean, it's that's the way it goes, man. Because I've always held the thesis that, like, this is life. Like, us in this room right now, us talking, okay, in real time, like, this is it. So we want to give you guys relevant stuff for life, man. stuff that we'll remember, stuff like, you know what, he had a point when he said that. I know it's not popular to say like, oh, promoting extreme age gaps may not be the best thing for Southeast Asia. Promoting. I'm not saying like individual relationships, okay? I'm not God. I'm not here to judge people or condemn. I'm looking at this more from like a media point of view, like public relations. Like if we start normalizing stuff that technically is not normal, that could potentially have negative effects. Interesting to note. I was looking at some cartoons last night, right? Thank you for that random stuff. I appreciate that. And Naomi Estrada, welcome. She says nice stories and good talking. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Edmund, good to see you too. Thank you. He says God bless. Xander Aviation says same. Yeah, so you guys got to remember when you're watching some of these channels, I don't mean some of these channels, there's hundreds, there's thousands of bloggers in YouTube and Asia or in Philippines, okay? I don't talk about specific channels. I don't get into gossip, none of that BS. I'm just, I've seen this all over the place, okay? Generally, YouTubers that live here, like full time, they are dependent on, or they travel full time as vloggers, is like they are dependent on YouTube for their income, okay? So you got to remember, if somebody is dependent on YouTube for their income, they may not always say what they feel they should be saying. You know what I'm saying? So that's all my point is. We're trying to give it to you straight here on the Captain Trucker channel. And I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, man. We're just talking about the topics here. And people want to listen, they can listen. If they don't, that's okay too. We still love you. You know what I mean? We're going to give it all the same. Anyway, thanks for everybody out there watching. Please send a message. We're just getting warmed up here today. We got some stuff to talk about. Sean, if you're still out there, send me a message. All right, so we're talking about just some basic guidelines you need to build a house in the Philippines as a foreigner. So anyway, like I said, if you have like a Filipino wife or kids, just give it to them. So if you're like an average Joe, all right, and you're trying to come to the Philippines to like make money on real estate, that's probably a bad idea, because the market and all that is not really the same out here. Because I've met regular guys that will put all their life savings into like building a house, right? And then they go around, they're like, oh, my house is worth $200,000 and I only built it for $50,000. But the reality is they can't sell it because there's no one to sell it to, right? So you get a lot of foreigners that get stuck with houses out here, and then they get kind of cash poor because they put too much money into their houses, right? Same with America. We see that all over the place, right? So we got to watch out for that too. I've always said this, live within your means, right? All right, here we go. Oh yeah, so we were talking about utilities and services, right? So I'm like, solar. It's expensive to install it, but I think like within 5 years, from what I've seen, like in a situation like mine, it should pay itself off. So it's a good long-term investment. Okay, number 8, we got community rules. So in some residential areas or subdivisions, they have their own rules and regulations. So be aware of any homeowner association rules or covenants that may apply to your property, okay? So number 9, we got contractors and labor. So when hiring contractors and labor for construction, ensure that they are licensed and follow labor laws. So proper contracts and agreements should be in place to protect your interest. Okay, so it would be advisable. You can find lawyers out here and they can actually draft up contracts, from what I've heard, for like 2,000 pesos, which is about $40 US. And they can break down the in segments, like the process of building the house, the contract, like an agreement with the contractors, and you sort of pay as you go type of thing. And you can have the lawyer notarize it, make an agreement with the contractors and stuff like that, in case, God forbid, anything goes wrong. It is a good idea. So you can do stuff like that. Where are we at? Anna Abdul Wahab says, "Hey, can you give me a brand for a edit?" I don't understand what you mean. Welcome everybody out there. If you're just joining in, please send us a message. In today's video, we're kind of just talking about some basic guidelines for expats or foreigners building houses here in the Philippines with their family, and also we're going to be talking about the road trip we're going to be taking on this channel. We're going to go on a semi-truck driving tour throughout the United States in March. We're going to do it for about 3 or 4 months. We're going to rock out the show there, and then we're going to come back to the Philippines and continue on. So that's kind of the plan. I've been doing that for like 6 years, all right? I've made 14 trips to the Philippines in 6 years doing this, back and forth. And boy, it's been fun sometimes. But, you know, Big Daddy's got to make money, man. We gotta make that money, man. You know, this is life. We're not retired yet. Okay. Number 10, we got building inspectors. So local authorities may conduct inspections at various stages of construction to ensure the compliance with building codes. I mean, that could happen. Number 11, we got taxation. So be aware of the tax implications of property ownership and any potential capital gains when selling the property in the future. All right. And number 12, legal advice. Don't listen to people on YouTube. It's advisable to consult with a local lawyer who specializes in real estate transactions and construction in the Philippines, all right? They can provide specific guidance based on your circumstances and help to navigate the legal complexities. And that's true. Okay. And please note, these are guidelines. They're just meant to provide a general overview and all that good stuff. So yeah, there's that. Okay. Where was I going? What was I talking about? Swisher Sweets? Oh yeah, when I was a kid, I went through this like 2 or 3 year phase with my brother where we were smoking Swisher Sweets. Those are the cigars. And we saw Arnold Schwarzenegger do it in Last Action Hero in 1993, and we just liked it. I don't know. It was like, oh, Arnold smokes cigars. He's cool. Rattel says, are you going to do all this stuff? What are you kidding? 100%. I practice what I preach sometimes. Yeah, man. Every one of those things. To the bone, to the core. So basically, we covered 12 guidelines of what building a house sort of stuff to do as a foreigner. And I'll just run through the titles of those really quick. Number 1, ownership of land. Number 2, land title. Number 3, permits and approvals. Number 4, architectural plans. Number 5, construction regulations. Number 6, property taxes. Number 7, utilities and services, all right? Number 8, community rules. Number 9, the contractors and labor. Number 10, building inspections. 11, taxation, and 12, legal advice. Okay, that's it. Whew. That was fun. Well, anyway, you know, when I first started life, I actually remember when I was born. Nobody is going to believe this because you asked like what people's first childhood memories are, and this is a true story. I swear. I remember being born, exiting my mother, not that part, but I remember 3 doctors looking into my eyes, like as a baby, okay? I don't know if it was when I was born. I think it was. I think it was when I was actually born. I remember these 3 pairs, which was 6 eyes, 3 people, looking into my eyes as a baby, okay? And just like giving me like this inquisitive inspection look. And the way I would just stare straight back at people, you know? Like I was always like that. It was always like, No BS, straight. It was just kind of like, yeah, you're looking at me, I'm looking at you. What? But I remember that, man. And I swear it was when I was born. It could have been like, well, I think it was. I don't know. What about you guys? What's your earliest childhood memories? Other than like if you were abused or something. Give me the happy ones. I got a lot of happy memories. I do. I do. I have a lot of memories of like playing with my brothers and sisters. We had a lot of fun. I got this other memory of like some of my brothers and I. We rigged up these Garbage Pail Kids cards. We used to collect these like comic books and Garbage Pail Kids. And we'd put them in like we rigged up this thing where we put it in a basket over one of my oldest sister's room, and we were on like the second level of the house. And when she'd open the door, it like pulled the string and it dumped the cards on top of her head. I remember that. I was like 3 or 4 years old, and one of my eldest brothers, he was like kind of always like he had all these good ideas and stuff, and we'd always be. I was real close to my oldest brother. We were very close for many years. I just haven't seen him in a while, but yeah, we were like because I had a lot of brothers and sisters, but we were really close, so we had a good time. Xander Aviation says I split my head open twice on a wall. Oh my god, sorry to hear that. And I remember my mother holding me once, like when I was probably 3 or 4 or 5. I remember her. I remember the love, like the love of a mother. I remember her holding me, and it was just a special moment because it's like you have if you have like a big family, it's like it's I guess it's good when you have siblings because you kind of I guess look out for each other and play together, that sort of thing. Because my father worked a lot. He had to. You got to work a lot when you have a lot of kids. And he is a good man. My father was a man of principles. He was a man of oaths. He believed in like my father was like really a man of principles, man. Like if he said he was going to do something, he would do it, And I guess you kind of had to be that way as like sort of the captain of the ship. Well, he was a merchant marine officer, so he was, he was in command of the ship, really. So he used to sail these oil tankers all throughout Alaska, transporting oil and stuff like that. And he really loved ships, man. My father was like a real merchant marine sailor guy, And he did really well. He made good money for himself. But he worked very hard. He was a very hard worker. He'd go out to sea for like 3 or 4 months at a time. And I guess, like, oddly enough, later in life, that's sort of what I'm doing. Is like I go off on the road for 3 or 4 months at a time. Only these days we have YouTube and stuff. But, yeah. He did that for many years. So my brothers and sisters and I, we'd have a lot of fun at the house and stuff like that. We were had a lot of fun. Anyway, let me read some of your comments. I'm getting off topic here. Xander, I missed your message. It was retracted for some reason, but Rattel says, my earliest memory is seeing my sister drink milk for the first time. She is 2 years younger. Sorry, see, that's like those little idiosyncratic things is interesting too. Like, I also remember, I think at 5, my mother was pregnant with one of my younger sisters. And I was like, I wanted to talk to like, the baby inside my mother. So I would tell my mother to open her mouth and I would start like saying hi, like yelling, like I was talking to the baby, like I want to yell into my mom's mouth so the baby could hear it. Because like I thought you could talk to the baby inside your mother, right? Like your sister. I always remember that. Yeah, good times. And like I remember going to like one of my oldest sisters. Like my sisters were really good to me, you know, and my brothers were too. I was blessed to have a lot of good brothers and sisters that liked me. That we would spend time with each other and stuff. We used to play a lot of video games. I like they thought I was some kind of prodigy because when I was 3 years old, man, I was playing Nintendo and I could get to Mike Tyson on Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I could beat the game as a 3-year-old or 3 or 4, and they would just sit there watching me play the game like, how's he doing this? And I was just like, I don't know, man, I'm just doing it. But then I stopped playing video games in like 1995 because, I mean, these days, like the video games, it's like a whole different level. But anyway, I don't mean to sound like I'm bragging because I could beat Mike Tyson's Punch Out as a 4-year-old. But anyway, it's not really the most impressive thing in life. But Adik says, I need advice. My boyfriend of 2 years broke up with me. I think he wants to get back together, but I don't know what to do. Do I take him back? Well, I mean, geez, I don't want to misadvise somebody. I mean, you got to give me more information, man. I mean, there's a lot of factors going on there to just tell somebody to get back involved or to not. I mean, what can I say? I don't know anything about the situation. Was it an abusive relationship? Do you love each other? I'll tell you this. You know, most people, like, you can change in life, right? But most people are pretty much the same throughout life, right? Like people change a little bit. Environment can temporarily influence a people, but the core character of people generally seems to stay the same, right? So that whole like, like if you're in love with someone, you're trying to change them, or you think you're going to change them, I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah, but I have, Adik, I had no idea. I can't be responsible for that one. Jeez. How would I know? How would I know what's going on there? Anyway, welcome everybody out there to the Captain Trucker live stream. Today we're talking about, briefly was covering like just some guidelines you need to be building houses out here, as well as the upcoming semi-truck road adventure we will all be taking in March throughout the United States, because Captain Trucker needs to pull in some money. I want some more cash. I want to keep investing in different stocks. I need to take a little bit more risk, okay? So the thing with me is like, my job was so difficult and hard labor and dangerous and involved that like I don't take a lot of risk with money. But if I did or do, it could potentially be very profitable. So yeah, I want to keep pulling in some more cash and take a few risks. So yeah. But it will be interesting to take this show on the road. And I hope you all come with me. I hope you find it enjoyable, because we're going to be covering, a lot of the similar material just in different countries and states and all that. And then we'll come back to the Philippines in probably March, April, May, June, maybe July or something. So we'll see there. Should be a lot of fun. So welcome people out there. Please click the like button, send a message. It'd be great to hear from you. What do we got going? And what else do we got? Yeah, so yeah, I came from like a big family, man. I got a lot of cousins and aunts and uncles and people involved in all sorts of things. So Pretty interesting. So send a message if you guys have any questions. I'll be happy to answer questions, and then I might wrap it up soon. I don't know, or I'll keep going. We'll see what happens. Sometimes I just get all wound up and I just keep going. You know. Woo! See if I missed any messages here. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I missed these messages, man. Oh, Juice says, say Bomblicot. Xander Aviation says 5-year-old logic. Lol. I'm not sure what that is. Random Stuff says, wow. Oh, good. Obsidian says, I see you. That's good. Well, keep watching. I'm here for you. Xander says, is the housing expenses in the Philippines? Yeah, they vary, you know. I mean, basically, the more western you go, obviously, the more expensive it will be. Like in this, I built this unit here. Maybe I can show it to you. Well, I got some personal things on the wall I can't show you, but it's basically like this office. You know, I got like this office here, and I got like a bedroom behind me and a bathroom. I think I built it for like, I can't remember actually right now. I had it in one of my videos. I think around $3,000 or $4,000. And yeah, it's solid. I got tile floors too. Tile floors are pretty nice actually. And it suited me well. And like this part's concrete on my right, but it does get cracks. Like you get cracks in the foundation and stuff like that. Occasionally I'll get geckos in the house and lizards, which you just kind of get used to. So like the insulation, it may not be perfect in some of these houses, but that's the way it goes, like for the cost, you know. That's the way it goes. Not so crazy. John's here. Welcome. So John says it's smarter to figure out a business ideas, particularly multiple passive income ideas. Yeah, I mean, I like that too. Always a good idea. Passive income. Yeah. I guess the thing about, are you getting bugs and roaches? Not really. No. Not really. I mean, like occasionally, but not like serious, you know. Nothing serious. Nothing too serious. Oh my goodness gracious. You know, I love this is funny. It's always nice when you haven't heard from somebody in a long time and they show up on the channel. I just got one of those messages. Oh God. Xander Aviation says, do you play any sports or used to? Yeah, I mean, I'm still into, I just like training, man, like kind of like Not So Crazy John. Like I've just, I've been training most of my life, um, into bodybuilding and stuff like that. Not competitive bodybuilding because my diet's all over the place, but I enjoy like training, like bodybuilding, powerlifting, running. I run marathons, run half marathons, full marathons, stuff like that. So, yeah, a lot of fun. I used to play, like when I was a kid, I played sports, but not so much official sports, I guess, as an adult, other than just training and running in general, you know. Okay. John says, no offense. I lived in the tropics. We were plagued by both. Geckos are cool. They keep. Yeah, no, there's no offense taken at all. I was just saying, that's kind of stuff you can expect, really. So. All right, I'm gonna get going soon. If you all want to send a message or ask a question or something, but I'm gonna get going soon. Uh, Xander asked if I grew up in the Philippines or the USA. I mean, I grew up in the USA. I haven't come into the Philippines. Sorry, I'm just reading the messages. There's some weird messages today. Man. A lot of good messages, by the way, so thank you.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, get to the chopper.
Oh, whew. What did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, I want to talk about like different places in the Philippines, man. I want to go to Siquijor. I want to go to Siargao, I believe it's called. I want to go to Bohol, and there's some other places I want to go to. I will. I'm gonna get there. Vincent says you speak Tagalog. No, I do not. I'm sorry to say I do not. I gotta get like some flashcards and try to learn it, man. You know. Ratel asked me who my architect is. That's classified information. I can't share that. Jeez. No, it's not classified. I'm just joking. Sure. Bahol. Bahol? Whew. Where was I going with this? Surprisingly, the Roosters haven't been too out of control today, so that's good news for me. Very good news. Oh yeah, I never mentioned the house I was building actually. I was just talking about the other stuff. So it's like I have like a roof deck because it's a small house, right? It's like I think it's like just over 80 square meters, but I got a roof deck too because I like sitting in the sun sort of thing. And on the other half of the roof, I want to put solar panels, all right? It's like I was saying, like the cost for electricity is expensive in these countries, man. So, yeah, like 2 rooms, maybe 3 rooms, living room, kitchen. I guess like the stuff you need like in a domestic house. I don't know what color to paint it though. I do like green. As you see, this is green. Well, anyway, those are little details. Vincent says, "Are you in America or the Philippines?" I'm in the Philippines. Karen says, "Yeah, go for solar." I was trying to figure out the solar, because I think here they have a lot of those, like, what do you call, like those hybrid systems, like half solar, half electric or something. And then you have like the wattage left over, and I guess you can sell it or they buy it back or they don't. I'm not sure how that works, but I gotta figure that out too. Random user 1324 says, "Please dance for me. I want to go to bed." No, I'm good. I appreciate the thought, though. Karen Malone says, "Yeah, go for solar for sure." Onyx Game has asked, "What's your favorite car?" I like no cars. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't promote buying cars because I think it gets a lot of people in debt. And for those of you who may not be aware, like the interest rates are going to be like they're not going anywhere, so they're only going up this decade. So I would highly advise be very careful buying cars this decade. Yeah. But actually, I have an old 1999 Audi A4 Quattro that I bought cheaply from one of my uncles, and I've had it for many years now. And the car is all torn up on the inside because I used to sort of live in it for a while. But the thing is, it's kind of banged up, but it still runs like really well, man. Those are fast cars, dude. Those little Audis, man. They're like 6-cylinder, 4-wheel drive basically, and like that. Yeah, they handle really well. I like the Audis because they have like especially the older ones. They have like this simple look, but they're really like these really cool sports cars, man. As much as I have like made jokes about Germans, most just in good fun though. But I know a guy who's kind of irritated with me for that, and I don't mean anything personal by it. I just, I started off, man, in comedy, man. I like comedy. Like before I was on YouTube, I did a show on Public Access as a teenager, and it was a comedy show. So I'm trying to get people not to take everything I say too seriously, including if I make jokes about Germany or something. But I will say, man, Germans make some great technology, don't they? Like the Audi. What a great car. It really is. Sorry, I'm not going to do that again. Well, they always said he was a great speaker, but he kept yelling. Oh, God. Naomi the Robocar says, "How old are you?" I'm turning 41 years old shortly. Not so crazy. John says, "I designed a turbine to generate power. If you have a decent wind, then I would go wind power. Many cheap options." Oh, that's interesting. Never even thought about that. Naomi says 10:53 a.m. Am I right? Yes, you are correct. Oh, Vincent said that. All right, have a good day, Xander. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, I'm going to get going. I appreciate you all tuning into the live stream today. You all take care. It's Captain Trucker. God bless. Thank you all for coming out, okay? You all be good out there. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching. Peace.